on to my channel. Is this your first time of coming to my channel? Thanks a lot. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe. So in today's tutorial we are going to making a simple video on how to achieve our off-shoulder sweetheart bustier top with our mutton sleeve. So basically I'm going to divide this video into two sections. One is going to be for the sleeve area and the second one is going to be for the top. So if you are interested in learning how to achieve the both of them, please go ahead and watch the video. I'm also going to put the link somewhere on the screen, and that is the reason why you have to click on the subscribe bell so that you can get notifications once a video pop up. So what are the basic measurements required in order for you to achieve this style? Shoulder measurements, our waist measurement, top length, round sleeve, our sleeve length. Now note that for your top length you can increase the length of yours. It all depends on your desired length. So for me, I want it to be somewhere around my waist just to give me this crop top effect, but you can basically increase your length. So let's go ahead now and calculate our measurements. Our shoulder measurement is 14. Measurement is 14 divided by 2, we have 7. Our bust is 36 divided by 4 plus 2, we have 11 inches. Our waist is 30 inches. 30 divided by 4 plus 2, we have 9.5. Our top length is 17 inches. I'm going to add 2 inches to it. I have 19 inches. Our sleeve length is 22 plus 2 inches, we have 24 inches. Our round sleeve measurement is 12 inches. 12 divided by 2, you have 6 plus 2 inches for your sewing allowance, you have 8 inches. Now the basic things I'm also going to explain in this style. The first thing I'm going to talk about here is our sleeve length. In order for you to achieve this form of sleeve, it simply means that the upper part of your sleeve is actually very full, and while for this lower part is fitted, right? So for the fullness of the upper part of your sleeve, you are going to use a very long amount of fabric. So for me, I'm going to make use of 60 inches long for the amount of fabric, while for the length I'm going to have 24 inches. And also you're basically going to divide your length also into 2. Don't worry, you're going to understand it better when I get to the cutting part. So for the length also, you're also going to divide your length into 2. The upper part, which is the full part like I explained earlier, and the lower part, which is the fitted part. So if your sleeve length is 22 inches, it means that from my upper part to somewhere around here I have 14, while for this lower part, which is going to be fitted, that is what you're going to have for the lower part. And another thing I also want to take note of is your round sleeve measurement. So the round sleeve measurement is only going to be used at this lower part that is fitted. That is the only part you need your round sleeve measurement, because for this upper part you're going to add so much inches to it. Like I said, I'm making use of 60 inches for it, and you're going to understand better when we get to the cutting part of this tutorial. If you have any question in the course of this tutorial, please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, or any topic you want us to make a video on. Trainings are available, both online training and physical training, and don't forget to join us on Facebook, TD Designs, on Instagram, TG Designs. So they are going to be on the screen. You can check us out and also follow us. For the top area, where you also need to take note of is your top length. Now don't forget that you are going to have your off shoulder also at the upper part, and the number of inches you take. Now don't forget that for the off shoulder also, you are going to take off inches for the upper part. The number of inches you take off totally depends on how off you want it to be. So you can take off 4 inches, you can take off 5, 6. It all depends on how off you want to be, but I'm going to explain that in details when we get to the sewing part of this tutorial, the cutting part of this tutorial. Please, like I said, this video is going to be in two sections. The first one, I'm going to be showing you guys how to achieve the top, and the second part of this video I'm going to be explaining the sleeve, because I really don't want this video to be full. So guys, now we want to cut out our bustier off shoulder, and this form we are going to have our sweetheart neckline. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and mark my basic measurements, which is shoulder to armhole 8.5, shoulder to bust 9 inches, shoulder to under bust 13.5, shoulder to waist, which will serve as our top length. I have 18 inches. So once you are done, go ahead now and connect the lines together. So the first thing we are going to do now is to go ahead and mark our dart measurement, which is 4 inches. So my dart is 4 inches. I'll connect the lines together. On my waistline, I'll go ahead and mark 1/2 inch on both sides. I'll mark 1/2 inch on both sides for the waist. For the dart measurement, I'll connect it together. So once you are done, this is what you are going to have. The next thing you are going to do is to extend your dart line to your shoulder this way, because you want to achieve your bustier effect. Now on your under bust, go ahead and mark 1/2 inch on both sides. On your under bust, mark 1/2 inch on both sides. Connect it to your bust line this way. Connect it to your bust line this way. Your under bust. And then from your under bust to your waistline. So I'm basically just going to go ahead now and connect my under bust to my waistline. So this is what I have. Now on my shoulder line, I'm going to go ahead and mark 5 inches on my shoulder line. I'll go ahead and mark 5 inches. Now connect it to your bust line. Connect it to your bust line. This is what it's going to look like. So we are going to go ahead now and mark our bust measurement. So my bust measurement is 10.5. My bust measurement is 10.5. My waist measurement is 9.5 inches. This is where my waist measurement ends. Now don't forget that I said what we want to achieve is our off shoulder. So you're going to go ahead and determine how off you want this to be. So you notice that you can make yours 4 inches or 5 inches or 6 inches. It all depends on how deep you want it to be. So I'm going to make use of 6 inches for my off shoulder. So this 6 inches now is going to serve as our shoulder. This 6 inches now is going to serve as our shoulder. And don't forget that what I want to achieve is also a sweetheart neckline. So I'm just going to go ahead now and give it my sweetheart shape by going in this way. So this is just the sweetheart shape. So now we are going to go ahead now and mark our shoulder measurements. So before you mark your shoulder measurements, please go ahead and close your shoulder dart. The reason why you have to close your shoulder dart is so that you can have your accurate measurements, right? So our shoulder now is 7 inches. Go ahead now and mark that. You can see that I marked it on this 6 inches because this is our new shoulder. So connect your shoulder now to your bust line using a slant shape this way. This is your armhole for off shoulder, and connect your bust to your waistline. Connect your bust to your waistline. So this is basically what we are going to have for the front block. So the next thing I'm going to do now, is to go ahead and cut this out. But peradventure you want yours to be like a full length, right? Don't forget that mine stops somewhere around my waist area. But if you want to achieve this style, a full length, what you are going to do is on your top length now, you go ahead now and mark your hip measurement. So my hip measurement is 11 inches. You just go ahead and mark your hip measurement, and then you connect your hip to your waistline. Connect your hip to your waistline. So this is going to give you your full top. That is if you want it to be like a very long top. So but for me, I want it to end somewhere around the waistline, so I'm going to stop at this point while I am cutting it. So I'll go ahead now and cut this out. Guys, after cutting it out, this is what we have. You can see what it looks like, but I'm going to go ahead now and open up this area because this is what is going to give us our bustier effect. just go ahead now, and once I'm done, I'm going to have 2 pieces this way for the front block. I will go ahead now and set this aside. Now the next thing we want to cut out is our back block. We are still going to make use of the same shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, and under bust. So the first thing now is to go ahead and mark your zip allowance. However, you can make use of 1.5 2 inches, you know, for your zip allowance. It all depends on you. So I'm making use of 1.5 inches now for my zip allowance. I'll go ahead and connect the lines together. Once you are done, the next thing you have to do now is to go ahead and mark your darts. I started marking my dart measurement from my zip line. I'll mark 4 inches, which is my dart measurement. On my waist also, I'll mark 4 inches. Once I'm done, I'll go ahead and connect the lines together. On my waistline, I'll go ahead and mark 1/2 inch on both sides. This is to serve as your dart allowance. Connect the lines together. Now note that, you know, your back block, you don't have your sweaters, you don't have your bustier effect, so it's actually very easy for you to achieve your, you know, your back block. So the number of inches we are taking off, like we did in the front block, is we took off 6 inches. So you're also going to maintain that 6 inches also. Go ahead now and mark 6 inches, because for the front block we took off 6 inches. So the same inches you took off for your front block is what you're also going to do here. So we took off 6 inches, we have 6 inches. We've gone ahead to connect it, so this will serve as our shoulder measurement. So on this line now, you go ahead and mark your shoulder, which is 7 inches. On your bust line, I have 10.5 inches. On my waist, I have 9.5. Like I said in the front block, if you want it to be a full top, on your hip you go ahead and mark your hip measurements, right? If you want yours to be like a very, like the long version of this style basically. So I've gone ahead now to connect my bust to my waist. Now I'll connect my shoulder to my bust line this way. This is what I have. So you discover that for the back block we don't have those bustier effects, and you guys, you can't have your princess darts or your sweetheart, you can't have a sweetheart effect at the back block, right? So this is what my back block is going to look like. So guys, for the back block, this is what we are going to have, and for the front block, this is what it looks like. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to transfer this to my fabric. So guys, I'm making use of this African print, and African prints are available at our store. So looking at this, you know, African print is also very necessary for you to check out the patterns of the fabric you have, you know, in order for you to know how to cut your dress at the end of the day. So for lines like this, when they are straight, it simply means that, you know, it makes your client looks a bit taller. But when it is placed across the body this way, it makes your client look a bit fatter. So it all depends on how you want to place yours. So I'm going to fold my fabric into 2. I'm basically just folding my fabric into 2. I'm going to place my back block on it this way. I'll place my back block on it this way, and then I'll go ahead and cut this out. So guys, now after cutting this out, this is the back block. We are going to have 2 pieces this way for the back block. So this is the 2 pieces for the back block. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. Now I folded my fabric also into 2. Please ignore the background noise. Please just ignore the background noise, okay? So I've gone ahead also to fold my fabric into 2. Now I'm going to place my pattern paper on my fabric this way. You will discover that the same pattern I followed for my back block is the same pattern I am following for my front block. So place my pattern this way, and then I'll go ahead and cut this out. So guys, by the time we open this up, this is the front piece. This is what we are going to have for the front piece. You can see how cute it is. you can see how cute it is. This is what we are going to have for the front piece. Basically, if you have any question, please feel free to drop your questions in the comment section, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, share and subscribe. So this is what we have for the front block, and for the back block this way we have 2 pieces. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and cut out my lining, and then I'll show you guys what next we have to do. Now we are going to go ahead and cut out our sleeve, but for this dress I must say that I am going to cut out a gigot sleeve. So if you are interested in learning how to achieve your gigot off shoulder sleeve, please go ahead and watch the video on how to achieve that. But aside that, you can basically fix in any type of sleeve you want on your dress. Okay, so let me now for our sweetheart, this is the upper piece. You can see basically I've gone ahead to couple this up. This is what it looks like. You can see your bustier effects, you can see the sweetheart shape. So by the time you turn it with your lining, this is what you are going to have. So we have this now for the front piece, while for the back piece we have 2 pieces this way. We have 2 pieces this way for the back sleeve. We've gone ahead also to turn it up with our lining, and the reason why our lining stops here is because your lining should be shorter than the main fabric, just to give it like a very neat finishing. So the next thing you are going to do now is just to go ahead and place your back block on your front piece this way. Once you place it, you couple this up with your bust measurements and your waist measurements. But before then, don't forget to fix in your zip at this back piece. So you are going to attach your zip to this back piece to give you one single piece to close up this part. So you can either fix in your zipper first so that you can have one straight piece for your back block before you place it on your front block, and then use your bust measurements and your waist measurements to couple this up, or you can couple this up with your front waist measurements and your bust measurements, and then you fix in your zipper. Let me know what method you prefer in the comment section. So once I'm done, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So guys, now we've gone ahead now with our bust measurements, our waist measurements to couple this top up, and we also have our zip at the back block. You can see what it looks like. So basically you can go ahead and attach any sleeve of your choice to this tube sweetheart bustier top, but for me I am attaching this sleeve. You can see how full this sleeve is, and this is what it looks like. So I've made a video also on how to attach this sleeve and also how to create this form of sleeve. Look at how it's bouncing. Can you guys see how it bounces and how full it is? So by the time you put it on, basically it's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. This is what you're going to have at the end of the day. Like, it's going to pop off at this upper part, and this is what we have. So please go ahead and watch the video on how to achieve this sleeve if you are interested in learning how to achieve this. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I will definitely see you guys in my next one. Kisses.